Hi, Jaworek School. It's me, Ms. McNichol. Welcome to episode number 23 of Goodnight Jaworek School. Because I don't have much of a voice tonight, I've asked two of my very favorite people to read to you tonight. One is my 5-year-old niece named Carter, who lives in Chicago, and the other is my oldest daughter, Paige, who lives in Maine. They'll both be sharing with you stories about monkeys. Then you'll see some funny pictures of monkeys and of hats. And then you'll see monkeys in hats. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Good night, Jaworek School.
My name is Carter, and I'm going to be reading you this book called Monkeys. Monkeys. I am hanging. I am climbing. I am swinging. I am running. I am eating. I am falling. I am hanging. I am hanging. I am swinging. I am swinging. I am sliding. The end.
My name is Paige. Many of you might know my mom, Ms. McNichol. Today I'm going to read you Caps for Sale, and this is a book that she read to me a lot when I was growing up. I hope you like it. Caps for Sale, a tale of a peddler, some monkeys, and their monkey business. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, and then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the street, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said. And he walked out of town, slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. That's a nice place for a rest, thought he. And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put up his hands to feel if they were straight. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. They were all there, so he went to sleep, and he slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray, or a brown, or a blue, or a red cap. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking his finger at them. "You give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and he said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both his feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." At last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. But then, each monkey pulled off his cap. And all the gray caps, and all the brown caps, and all the blue caps, and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly he walked back to town calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." The end.
Today's copy of Goodnight Jaworek School was colored by Sabrina in first grade in Miss Boudreau's class here at Jaworek School. Good night, Jaworek School. Late in the evening on Hosmer Street, where all the cool kids have been tapping a beat, they'll lay in their beds, not one of them a fool, when we all say goodnight to Jaworek School. We go to class and learn something new. We chat with our friends and our teachers too. We share our school spirit. We share what we know. Then just after 3 o'clock it's time to go. At Jaworek School, at the end of the day, when all of the students have gone home to play,
We close all the windows and put down our tools as we say good night to Jaworek School. Good night to the teachers. Good night to the halls. Good night to the artwork hanging on the walls. Good night to the books and our principals too. Good night to JJ dressed all in blue. Good night to the gym where we climb and run. Good night to the playscape where we have fun. Good night to the numbers. Good night to the words. Good night to all of the stories we heard. In Jaworek School, at the end of the day, when all of the students have gone home to play, we close all the windows and put down our tools as we say good night to Jaworek School. Thank you, Sabrina, for coloring our Jaworek School, Goodnight Jaworek School book.
Thanks for listening, Jaworek School. I hope you enjoyed these stories about monkeys. Thank you to Paige and thank you to Carter, our guest readers. Good night, Jaworek School.